Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Mawaddah and today I'm going to talk about eutrophication and biochemical oxygen demand with my group members Hidayatul Insyirah and Aidit Aiman. Eutrophication is an entirely natural process where excess nutrients such as phosphorus and nitrogen enter a water body and cause an algae bloom. These nutrients are often the result of poor management techniques such as over-fertilization and auto-dumping industrial waste. For short, eutrophication is a process that occurs in the water ecosystem rich with nutrients, resulting in a change to the structure of the ecosystem.
Causes of eutrophication. First, fertilizers, which is nitrate and phosphate. Eutrophication is caused by human action due to their dependence on using nitrate and phosphate fertilizers. Agriculture practice and the use of fertilizers on lawns, golf courses and other fields contribute to phosphate and nitrate nutrient accumulation. When these nutrients are washed by surface runoff into lakes, rivers, oceans and other surface water, when it rains, the hungry plankton, algae and other aquatic plant life are well fed, and their photosynthesis activity is increased. This causes a dense growth of algal bloom and plant life such as the water kinetics in the aquatic environment. Second, direct sewage discharge and industrial waste into water bodies. In some parts of the world, especially the developing nation, sewage water is directly discharged into water bodies such as rivers, lakes and oceans. As a result, it introduces high amounts of chemical nutrients, thereby stimulating the dense growth of algal bloom and other aquatic plants, which threatens the survival of aquatic life in many ways. Third, aquaculture. Aquaculture is a technique of growing shellfish, fish, and even aquatic plants without soil in water containing dissolved nutrients. As a highly embraced practice in recent time, it also qualifies as a top-ranking contributor to eutrophication. If aquaculture is not properly managed, the unconsumed food particles together with the fish excretion can significantly increase the level of nitrogen and phosphorus in the water, resulting in dense growth of microscopic floating plants. And fourth, natural events. Natural events such as flood and the natural flow of rivers and streams can also wash excess nutrients of the land into the water system, thus causing excessive growth of algal bloom. Also, as the lake grow old, they naturally accumulate sediments as well as phosphorus and nitrogen nutrients, which contribute to the explosive growth of phytoplankton and cyanobacterial bloom.
So, how can we overcome this problem? The best methods and the best solution for treating eutrophication is to prevent it in the first place by restoring riparian zone. What is a riparian zone? Riparian zone is a strip of land adjacent to water body that is covered in foliage. The riparian zone acts as buffer between water body and excess nutrients. Before the nutrients can reach the water, they are absorbed and filtered by shrubs and grasses that protect the water line. Next, using less fertilizers is the best practice we can do, which is extremely simple and effective to halt eutrophication in this trend. By the way, 68% of nutrients occur as a result of over-fertilization. Essentially, farmers are using more fertilizers than their crops can utilize. The last solution for eutrophication is by picturing a bubbler, which is the most expensive method. A bubbler can cycle oxygen through the system while simultaneously stirring up the water so that algae cannot be formed. This is the most effective option because it physically stops dead zones by restoring oxygen into the system. As you can see, we have several options to treat or preventing eutrophication. Each option has its pros and cons that should be varied according to the situations.
There's not much oxygen in the water to begin with, so when the bacteria consume it quickly, it might run out completely. Water without oxygen is called anoxic. If the water turns anoxic, all non-bacterial life in the water, including fish and other animals, will die. So, eutrophication happens when nutrients are added to water, which causes an algal bloom, cutting off sunlight and feeding bacteria. The bacteria use up oxygen in the water, which becomes anoxic, causing everything living in the water to die.
Biochemical oxygen demand, or known as BOD, is a chemical procedure for determining the amount of dissolved oxygen needed by the aerobic biological organism in a body of water to break down organic material present in a given water sample.
High biochemical oxygen demand can be caused by, first, high-level organic pollution caused usually by poorly treated wastewater. Second, high nitrate level which trigger high plant growth. Both result in higher amount of organic matter in the river. When this matter decays, the microbiological activity uses up all the oxygen. The biochemical oxygen demand is therefore one of the main parameters used in the urban wastewater treatment directive for controlling discharges. Unsurprisingly, large rivers where wastewater plants are more likely to be located registered higher level of oxygen demand than smaller rivers. Improvement in wastewater management saw biochemical oxygen demand fall in all sizes of river during the early 1990s. However, levels have begun increasing slightly more recently in all but the smallest river.
The eutrophication starts to give bad effects when the algae fully covered the surface of the water. This prevents the sunlight to penetrate from it and only little light can pass through the surface layer. This scenario causes the plant at the bottom of the water eventually die because of lack of sunlight, so they cannot carry out photosynthesis process. Other than that algae uses oxygen to decompose and deplete oxygen level in the water, causes the fish and other living organisms to die because of lack of oxygen. Finally, it will cause a reduction in biodiversity. On the other hand, the consequences of high biochemical oxygen demand are same as those low dissolved oxygen, which is aquatic organism become stressed, suffocate and die.
So, how can we overcome or reduce the amount of BOD? First, we can focus on removing total suspended solid from wastewater. Reducing total suspended solid will almost always reduce BOD too. We can use mechanical screen such as roto strainers or bar screen to get a large solid arc from the wastewater. This will also protect your downstream dissolved air flotation equipment from damage or clogging. Next, we can install a modern plate pack of dissolved air flotation equipment made up of stainless steel or plastic, which will improve the total suspended solid removal rate. Elevated total suspended solid levels can damage your wastewater equipment and affect the efficiency and operation. Lastly, get a self-cleaning and self-draining dissolved air flotation equipment is a must too, because it can prevent from clogging, solid separation problems, higher chemical feed rates, and higher total suspended solid. Properly designed dissolved air flotation system provide clean out ports or pumps to remove stubborn, heavy, and settled solids.
If this happens in the ocean, the lack of oxygen can cause corals to bleach and possibly even die. All around, this can greatly damage many ecosystems and lead to a decrease in biodiversity globally.
Importance of biochemical oxygen demand. First, biochemical oxygen demand measures the amount of oxygen consumed by microorganisms for the process of decomposition of the organic matters in the water bodies. Second, it indicates the amount of organic pollution present in an aquatic ecosystem. Furthermore, biochemical oxygen demand also measures the chemical oxidation of inorganic matter. Lastly, biochemical oxygen demand is also used in sewage treatment or wastewater treatment to destroy and decay organic waste through the aerobic organisms.